I am going to go around the whole trailer, and I've been testing every screw, every nut. Of course, the ladder is very important. I'm 230 and I climb on this thing. It was weight limited to 250. It worries me. We keep the honey wagon on the back of here. I've already did a couple screws down there that needed a little tightening. I recommend getting a separate ladder to climb up, so you're not putting any torque on this ladder while you're tightening it. It may affect the results. And do as you want, but I decided to use hand tools. I've got drills and all that, and I could set them to the proper torque probably. But with a hand tool, I can feel how tight it is. Now I want it snug and not over tight. I don't want to strip the screw or anything and have a whole other series of problems. So I'm using just a regular Phillips head screwdriver and just snugging these guys up. Driving your RV down the road is like your house being in a hurricane the whole time. It's shaking, an earthquake, hurricane, whatever you want to say. No matter how tight they are, nuts, bolts, screws are going to loosen. So we're going to make this a 6-month habit of going around and trying to screw everything in nice and snug. And so far we found a good bit, a high percentage of things that need tightening. When you're tightening the screws up, if it doesn't grab and your screw just starts spinning, then you might have some rotted wood behind here from water damage. So if that happens, don't ignore it. Get it to your dealer or maintenance guy and get them to check it out. See how it's split right there?
Yep.
And now the head of the screw will go right through there if there's any torque on it. So temporarily, I put a little washer that I found in there just to keep it from
I wonder what happened there.
popping out. And next time I go to Lowe's, I'm gonna look for a little rubber washer. We're going to check all of our lug nuts and make sure they're the right torques. We got a torque wrench in the right side socket, which is a 3/4 inch for our lug nuts. On our trailer, there's a label here that shows you how to put the pattern to tighten them in. That's if you take it off and put it back on, and the foot-pounds of torque it should be on, and ours is 100. So make sure you check for a sticker or consult your manual or your manufacturer on how tight your lug nut should be. So on your torque wrench, you've got a handle here that turns, and when you turn it clockwise, the torque goes higher, and you'll see that's a 100 mark. So we want it on 100, and we want that on 0. So that's 100 and 0. And they increment up to, and then the 110s on the left, 120s on the right, and then the incremental numbers on the handle give you, if you need a 115 or a 125, you go into these numbers here. So once that's done, we lock that torque into place at the bottom.
How often should we be doing these?
I'm sure the manufacturer recommends like every time you take it on the road, but before every trip is probably ideal. We're cleaning out sanitizing the freshwater holding tank because we've never used it before.
How often are we supposed to be doing this?
Heck if I know.
I mean, I've heard something like every 6 to 12 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Because bacteria can grow in there.
You're like a teacher. You ask questions that you already know the answer to.
I don't know for sure. I say we should probably look at the manual.
So we always read our manuals, and I'm sure
Obviously.
if you get on like one of the Facebook groups with RV in it, you get 50 different answers because everyone has their own way. But we read our manual. This is what it told us to do. It was a mixture of a 1/4 cup of bleach with a gallon per gallon of water, and you make 1 gallon of the solution per 15 gallons of holding tank. Our freshwater tank holds between 56 and 62 gallons. I think that difference is in the hot water heater capacity. So I made 4 gallons of the mixture. I have a sump pump. I'm sure you can come up with other ways, but little 8 horsepower sump pump I put in and put it into the gravity feed for the freshwater tank. where it says potable water only. Turn it on. So once that water has set into your system, turn your water pump on and get it running through the lines by turning on some faucets and sinks. Once you've done that, let it sit for 3 hours and then flush out with fresh water. So we'll probably fill this up to capacity after that and drain it all out.
All right, someone told us that if we put these felt pads on the bottom of the vegetable drawer of the refrigerator, that it'll go in and out easier. So we're gonna try that. All right, so I have these felt pads on the bottom of the vegetable drawer. Let's put it in and see. Yeah, that does work pretty good.
We are going to check out the TPMS and the pressure in our tires. TPMS unit we're using is the Time8 solar powered doohickey there, which I don't know if I like it or not because it's always on. So even when we don't want it on, it's beeping at us and stuff.
Is there a way to turn that off?
No.
I guess not, you wouldn't be saying that.
If there is, let us know. There probably is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the instructions. I'm putting it on in reverse. So it's got a sleeve here that covers the outside of it. I'm going to peel that back. Then we're going to loosen the little nut behind it. You're going to turn the nut behind it clockwise and loosen it up. Once you break that loosen, you're going to keep turning it that way and let it go down the stem a little bit. And that gives you room to twist this off. Now we're going to take our nut all the way off. And our sleeve all the way off. We'll take the tire pressure. It's got me about 55. You can get the more expensive TPMS units. Have a flow through the stem, so they go on and your end of your stem comes out, where you can still check your pressure manually and fill it up without taking your TPMS sensors off. Now those are a little bulkier. These are really light, so we did not upgrade our stem. If you get anything any heavier, I would even recommend any TPMS you put on here. Go ahead and have the tire manufacturer or tire people put a new metal stem on there to make that stronger, because these guys aren't real. When you start twisting and turning on them, it's kind of flimsy. Now I'm gonna crank this bad boy up. $60, beautiful.
Which one is it?
It is the top right one.
Oh, cool.
So now we're gonna take that bad boy off and put it on properly, starting with our sleeve. The biscuits are done. So we're gonna put our sleeve on inside out and push it on back like that. Put our nut on. I'm gonna twist the nut all the way back as far as it'll go with a hand. They give us room to put, not quite that far. We want to make sure the sensor is as tight as it'll hand turn before you tighten this guy up. When you tighten him up, you're gonna be going to the left or counterclockwise, because you know lefty tighty. And then we're going to pull our protective cover sleeve back over top of it. That keeps the road dirt and grime out of the sensor. The Time8 2, you can purchase a signal booster, so we do have a little bit of trouble with the losing signals, and we have a very short trailer. We're only, what, 25-foot trailer? Yeah. So you can purchase a signal booster to go in between the two to boost the signal, and the more expensive ones come with that. So it probably be worth investing in the next line up, I would say. And
but if this is your price range, this was our price range, because when you first get an RV, Money just seems to be pouring out the window. Like,
That's all I got to say about tire pressure sensor monitors. We use our RV about once or twice a month and wash it about every 3 months, well, at least we have so far, but we probably should wash it just a little more often. We hope you found our maintenance tips helpful, and if you have any to give us, comment down below.